Hello everyone, it's Eddie and today we're back for a prediction video. This video is kind of linked to me analyzing the Volume 2 trailer, but I want to, give my predictions, things that I think will happen in Volume 2. I'm going to go by categories. Anything that is power related first, Max and the kids second, third relationships in the broad sense, Vecna and the Flayer, and then the other theories that I didn't really put in any categories. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you can subscribe, like, and comment, and well, we can start. For the power related theories, I think those theories are the most likely to be right because it's very obvious. So the first one I want to talk about is the team up between Carly and Elle and Jane. Because it's very obvious that it's going to happen. Jane's arc is right now all about family, finding her sister, Hopper, it's all about family. So once again, it's going to be about family and finding our own identity now that Callie is back. Since Carly has the abilities to create illusions, mixing up with Eleven's powers of entering minds or, exploring memories, Carly could create distractions within memories, which would be insane, but it's something I see happening. Carly creates an illusion inside of a memory that 11 is creating, making the person unaware that this is happening right now. Because when she was inside that guy's memory, the military guy's memory, the guys knew, things was happening inside his brain, he was aware of it. So I do believe that Elle entering someone's mind needs to be protected by Kali's, distractions and illusions. Of course, next to that we have Jane and Will team up, which is kind of obviously it's also going to happen. Will need someone that knows how to use powers, someone that is kind of like him, and well, Jane knows that and she's going to be an anchor for him, but also Will is going to be someone that now can understand Jane and her struggles. So it's going to be a good team up and two people understanding each other in a deeper point. And Elle entering his mind, who is entering Vecna's mind, could be, and to me is going to happen, because that's quite obvious that at some point they're going to enter Will's mind whilst Will is in Vecna's mind, so they have a direct door to Vecna instead of trying to absolutely find him. Will can do that now, so, and since Elle can enter people's mind memories, she is going to be able to enter Henry's mind memories, Kamazats, through Will, because Will is kind of a bridge, a key between Henry and Vecna. And now obviously the Carly, Jane, and Will team up. That is going to happen in episode 8, probably, like the ending, all of them coordinating at the same time to destroy Vecna or the Mind Flayer, whatever is going to happen by that time. Will is obviously going to need someone beside him that keeps him sane. So I don't know if it's going to be at the same place as Carly or Jane, but I think we're going to enter a mind battle with other people who are going to try to find distractions and help Carly, Jane, and Will to go to Vecna. So I don't know exactly how they're going to do that, but to me it makes a lot of sense if Will is kind of separated from Carly and Jane. Just they're going to team up anyway, even if they are not side by side. So obviously power related, Carly creating illusions to escape the lab and not be perceived by the other military guys. That makes a lot of sense. They have to get out from the lab. They're going to have to get out from that military base in the Upside Down with 11 and with Hopper, and they can only do that by being discreet or by killing everyone. I think they're going to go with trying to be discreet, but we have this shot of Carly jumping one of the military guys, so I don't exactly know, but to me it makes a lot of sense that she's going to use it, unless there's something that keeps them from using their powers. Will controlling the Morgogans again, this kinda is obvious, but in my opinion, like I said in the trailer video, Will is going to try to use the Demogorgons to enter the Upside Down wherever they want at any point, because he can control them, and if they can control them, then he can make them open doors. Because for L, it requires a lot of energy to create a gate, so to Will, who has the possibility of taking Vecna's power and controlling the Demogorgons, and the Demogorgons can create the gates, then Will can create gates way easily compared to 11, which is not a shade to 11. That's just her powers are not exactly made for that. It would take too much of her to try that. Let's move on to the next category, which is Max and the kids. Max and Ollie will make a plan to get out. That's the name of the episode, Escape the Kamazats. We saw that there are only 2 in the shot in the trailer. However, there's all of the other kids that entered Kamazats. 1, either they are going to manage to convince all of the other kids to come with them, or to actually stay to distract Henry until Henry finds out and goes after Max and Holly. I think there's a high chance that Max and Holly decides to leave just the 2 of them, either because they didn't manage to convince the other kid, or because the kids are there for a distraction. For all of the kids to be aware of everything that is happening, trying to convince them when they are in a secured place in their mind is kind of complicated. So either Derek is going to be here and stay inside of the Kamazats to distract Henry with the other kids, or they'll join them, and just we didn't see that in the trailer because they cut those moments off the trailer. The other prediction I have is Holly having powers. I know I said that I was going to make a video about it, but I wanted to make so much videos, and then I ended up going into the holidays, which I had no choice to go to, so there's no videos. I do believe that Holly will have some kind of powers. Not the grand kind of powers that Will ended up having, because it's been a long time, since Will has been a vessel, and it's been brewing, but Holly just started to have them, so it makes a lot of sense to me if she's, like Mike said, will be able to cast dimension doors, but within Henry's mind, to decide where she wants to go and in what way she wants to go, to create open doors where there was none, to be able to move. But since Henry's mind comes out, seems more like a labyrinth than it does look like she's going to have power, to me, maybe the other solution of Holly having powers is as a vessel is more maybe between dimensions themselves, like between Dimension X, Kamazats, or between the Upside Down. But I don't think she's going to be able to cast anything if she is in the normal world. But if she's in one of the dimension, I believe that she can cast dimension doors. There's a lot of foreshadowing with her having powers and her being related to D&D, and we know that D&D in the show actually foreshadows many things. It's not just here to be pretty and to tell people that they are nerds. No, D&D serves a real purpose into what's going on afterwards. And because of that, her being given Holly the Eric, dressing as Holly the Eric, being told that she can cast dimension doors, etc., makes me believe that she is going to have powers. Now, how is she going to discover them? If it's going to be discovered with Max, I don't know. But to me, it will make a lot of sense if Holly can have powers since she became a vessel. So maybe once she managed to escape and take out the vine in her mouth, maybe she's going to be able to do that once she wakes up in her real body. Maybe not directly when she's in Kamazat. I don't exactly know. It's kind of shady. But the theory has many possibilities since this time we don't know a lot about Volume 2. Like in Volume 1, Holly and Max will witness Henry's memories. Because of that, we will learn everything about what happens in the first shadow, probably like the thing with Patty, what happened with Dr. Brenner to Henry, etc. All of Vecna being controlled by the Mind Flayer is going to be recontextualized by the memories that Max will go through, in my opinion. A lot of people are concerned about how much time there is in the episode and how much there's to cover, but I don't think it's necessary for it to be that long, especially if they use what they already have. Now, for relationships, Dustin and Steve will make up. That's obvious, we saw that in the trailer, but they're going to have a heart-to-heart that is going to mend their relationship. Dustin is like that with Steve and Hetty because he has no father figure. And I'm going to make a video about what the parents are, why are they here, what purpose they serve, and mostly it's for the psychological aspect of the kids and to give you signs and ideas of what the kids are and why kids are like this. And Dustin is like this with Steve because he has no father figure. We don't see him at all. And that would make a lot of sense for Dustin and Steve to make up, and we see that anyways in the show and in the trailer. They're going to make up. I think Dustin will open up about being scared to lose Steve, that everything just crumbled down once he lost Teddy. I think he'll open up about this. Dustin has been the comic relief of the show for a long time, same with Steve, and it was time for them to actually go deep into the psychological aspect of those kids and not just Steve and Dustin being here for the joke. Again, Jonathan and Nancy will have a heart-to-heart related to the ring or not. I know a lot of people are opposed to the idea of the ring, and they made it so obvious that there's two outcomes of that ring. That ring is not Jonathan's, and it's Hopper's, which is one of the theories. The second option is that it really is Jonathan's ring, but at the end of the show they die. Nancy or Jonathan. Often when we introduce things like this, very big, like, you know, very big future and things that they want in the future, that the characters want, like that, suddenly is a big sign that one of them are going to die. Joyce will discover that Hopper wanted to blow himself up. I'm sorry, but this is comical to me. When Jane is going to come back with Hopper and Kelly, at some point Jane is going to mention the fact that Hopper always had the intention to, you know, you wanted to, boom. It needs to be addressed, and at some point, Joyce is the other adult, and I think she's going to be aware of that. She's going to be made aware of that, and they're going to have a discussion. Hopper and Joyce are Eden, kinda, in this trailer, so to me, they're going to have a heart-to-heart at some point about this subject. Kali's and Jane's sistership, obviously, I mean, linked to the relationship of the show, I would expect Kali and Jane to have many talks. This has been foreshadowed in season 2. Jane wanted to stay with Kali. Kali is her family, someone she really understands. And in my opinion, it makes a lot of sense that Jane's identity will be discovered fully this time in relations of Kali. And that Jane and Kali are going to really be bonding in this season. Mike and Elle will break up. They don't share any interest. You're not shown that they understand each other. This relationship is a complete mess for Elle and for Mike. This needs to stop. This relationship needs to go away. Regardless of Byler, and I'm saying this regardless of Byler, every person I've talked to in real life that watches Stranger Things believes that Elle and Mike should break up, because everyone with a sane mind has realized that Mike is not treating her well and that Jane is not treating Mike well either. Mike and Will in relationship is, in my opinion, going to happen. Yeah, in the sense that Byler was made to be linked to the supernatural plot since the beginning. Since the beginning, Mike and Will are tied to what is happening in the supernatural plot. So yeah, you make a whole season focused about the fact that Will is in love with Mike, and then the next season giving Will hope, talking about signals, etc., and then making another point that love is what makes Will stronger, giving Will a rejection when we just established that love is what makes him stronger is literally stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean it. It's stupid. You cannot believe that in Volume 1 they established the fact that Will finds power in love just for after that to reject him. What is he going to do? After literally having a whole decade of friendship ruined by rejection, when that said person is one of the people on 3 person that gives him the strength to fight. In the first shadow, they used Patty as a way to get to Henry. So, in my opinion, in Stranger Things Volume 2, they are going to use Mike as a way to go to Will. So they already set that in place, that they're going to use his sexuality, use his mind, and use his love for Mike as a way to get to him. And in the foreshadow, they use Patty to make Henry fall, and they're going to do the same thing. Vecna and the Flayer. So I already talked about this multiple times, but I do believe that they're trying to make a body for the Flayer. Something that is gigantic, something that is impossible to kill, something that is so powerful that you cannot do anything against. And Henry is reusing the same tactics that was used in the lab to create that thing. And when I'm saying that is that they, in the lab, Dr. Brenner and people took the kids, gave them Henry's blood, gave them power. And this time they're doing the same thing. They're taking kids, making vessels out of them, just like they did to Will, hence giving them powers. And by doing this, it's like, to me, creating batteries, creating people that can summon a lot of energy. And if you need a lot of energy for something, then maybe that can be a monster. Maybe that's the Flayer's body. Just like he did in season 3. He created flesh. He created a body out of people. So it would not shock me for it to happen once again, but in a different form. There's going to be a big break in time. The time will get messed up, either because of the wormhole or because the dimension starts to bleed together in the real world, in the normal world. And like time has a big relation in Strangerthings, you know, with the clocks, the 12 kids maybe being in relation to the clocks. And in general, there's a lot of question of days, time, hours, and that is a lot of mention. So it wouldn't shock me that once again we're entering a time break, or the time will slow down, or going back in time, or going forward in time. I think we'll have a big talk about the time, since we are under a lot of memories. Since we are in memories, that would not shock me that there's a mixed up between the real world and the memories, and everything just kind of mixes together when the dimensions start to bleed out into the real world. It's kind of a far-stretched theory. It's just something I believe in. Like I said, Vecna will target Will as a way to make him vulnerable and to be useful for him. My other idea with Vecna the Flayer is that they are going to take Will. Will is going to be taken by the end of episode 7 or by the start of episode 8. Either they will do a fake death or they will simply get him to be taken. But since Will is a key, Will is going to be used. Vecna wants to use Will again. Once Will has fulfilled his role, use this power enough for him to be vulnerable, use this power enough to have full control over it, to be strong with it, powerful. Once he summoned a lot of energy, Vecna will want him back, because Will is going to be extremely useful, and that is where everything can either go to shit for Will or be good. For Mike, something's going to happen to Mike, because in Nancy's vision that Vecna gave her, she said Holly, the parents, the town, and she mentioned Mike. But Mike is the only one who has not suffered yet, the one who's been watching but not directly being impacted by it. My last prediction is that I said in my trailer analysis that they're going all in the Upside Down. They're all going to the Upside Down, trying to find Holly, in my opinion. We have this shot of Holly falling down in the Upside Down or somewhere, so it wouldn't shock me that they're going to the wall, and they're going to try to find Holly. Something has to be doing, something is happening with that wall, and that might be a door to something else. Those were my predictions. I tried to be quick. Okay, it's still 40 minutes, but I tried to be quick. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in a few days, because I have a lot of videos to release before Volume 2. And have a great day, night, whatever. Goodbye!